College, and Tyler Nordrum, the athletic director at Highland, for agreeing to come down and live stream this press conference. I'm not know for sure where the other cameras are, but don't be surprised. You might see yourself on Netflix from one of them or something. But anyway, Coach Thomas is running a little bit late, and he's down in the parking lot. So we'll go ahead and get started, and they'll distribute the press releases for Dodge City as soon as they come. Welcome everybody to the 2017 KJCC Football Media Day and Press Conference. We appreciate everybody being here. We really appreciate those of you in the media for being here and being part of this. Wouldn't be much need to have this event if it wasn't for the media. So we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your coverage of not only Jayhawk Conference football, but all of our athletics. So we very much appreciate that. I do want to make first a introduction. In the back of the room is the new KJCC Assistant Commissioner, Carl Heinrich. I'd like to introduce you to Carl Heinrich. Carl's a former athletic director at Johnson County Community College. He started with the conference in January. He is, you won't believe this, but he is an ex-football coach. But we got to get him acquainted with everybody here in the football, being from Johnson County. Special thanks to our alliance partner, the Iowa Community College Athletic Conference, and their commissioner, Tom McDonald. Tom wasn't able to be here, but we appreciate everything that we do with the Iowa Conference. I think it's made what we try to do in the Jayhawk Conference really a special conference in the country, and so we appreciate that. So, a couple people I'd like to thank. Obviously, it's always great to be back on the campus of Newman University. A beautiful campus, a beautiful room. They always treat us very well. In the back of the room, we have Athletic Director Vic Trilly and Compliance Director and Assistant AD Joanna Pryor. So we appreciate Vic and Joanna and all they do to support not only this press conference, but community college athletics. So they're both community college athletic people, and so they have not forgotten their roots, and we appreciate that. Special thanks also to the cooperation that we get from the Wichita Sports Commission. Bob Hansen is not here, but we have a couple of his people here, and Josh Howe is here, and appreciate Josh, and Carson McAfee is here, I think, and was there somebody else? Anyway, appreciate you guys being here. They help us throughout the year, region basketball, region baseball, so we appreciate the cooperation and the partnership we have with the Wichita Sports Commission. I'd like to introduce to you some special guests we have in the room. Region 6 Assistant Men's Director Shane Larson, the Athletic Director at Kale Community College. Shane sits on the National Football Committee and represents the Jayhawk Conference in Region 6 at the NJCAA level, so we appreciate that. Hutchinson Community College AD Josh Gooch is here, so appreciate Josh being here. Garden City Athletic Director John Green is here. Thank you, John, for being here. As I said earlier, Highland Athletic Director Tyler Nordrum is here, and we appreciate him being here. Butler Assistant Athletic Director Matt Jacobs is here. Matt, we appreciate you being here, and that's all those. So we appreciate that support that we get from our athletic directors for this event. Real special welcome to the new football coach at Fort Scott Community College, Kale Pick. Kale, welcome to the Jayhawk Conference. Good. Obviously, we don't put this thing together without the big help from Mark Patrick. Mark is the KJCC webmaster and just kind of a good helper for Bryce. And we get great help from Steve Carpenter, the SID at Hutchinson. Steve's here. And then Russ Carn back in Highland that helps us with some of our website stuff. So we appreciate that. So there. Again, as I said earlier, special appreciation to the media. I'd like to kind of go around the room, and if you'd introduce yourselves and tell me what media outlet you represent. If we could do that, we can start over here. Okay. Go ahead. Butler, okay. Okay. Garden City, okay. Anybody else here? All right. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Thanks for your attendance and appreciate you being here. And like I said, appreciate your support all year long for all community college athletics. So do that. I'd also like to special appreciation to the supervisor of football officials for the Kansas Jayhawk Conference, and that's Craig Helzer. Craig is here, and there were just some minor, thank you, just some minor rule changes. This was not a rule change year in the NCAA, but Craig will be here to talk to the coaches at the coaches meeting that'll follow this meeting. So appreciate Craig and all the work that he does with officials. 2016 was a special year for the Kansas Jayhawk Conference, and another great year for our alliance as we again fulfill the alliance progress with the Iowa schools, and really it was capped with Garden City, undefeated conference champions and ranked number 1 by the NJCAA. Garden City was played in the El Toro Bowl and defeated Arizona Western and was crowned NJCAA national champions. Congratulations to Garden City. Coach Jeff Sims. We had several other teams playing bowl games. Butler played Eastern Arizona in the Salt City Bowl. Iowa Western played Holmes, Mississippi in the Graphic Edge Bowl. In the preliminary game, Ellsworth played Rochester. The final NJCAA poll had Garden City number 1, Dodge City number 15, Highland number 16, Butler number 17. 2017 will begin the 4th year of the alliance with Iowa. We're looking forward to this year, and we've already started preliminary discussions for a new schedule for the alliance for the next 2 years. So we'll again begin another 2-year rotation starting in 2018. Again, in the 2017 schedule, there'll be 1 open date and 1 bye date for all teams. That's the same as happened this past year. Some of our teams will play the 11th game, and some will use as another bye week. So some teams will play 11 games, some will just play the 10 and have 2 byes. The opening date will be Thursday, August the 24th, with Garden City hosting Ellsworth and Dodge City hosting Highland. So we'll start right off with a conference game and Ellsworth traveling to Garden City. On Saturday, August 26th, the rest of the conference will get started playing, with Hutchinson hosting Coffeyville, Butler hosting Fort Scott, and Independence will be hosting Iowa Western. So it's going to be an exciting week right off the bat, and I think we'll have some very exciting games all through the season. Check the KJC website, which you see up back of me, for schedules and times. Some of the game times have changed from last year, and so give you a chance to go on there and follow that. Again, as we have in the past 4 years, there will not be any playoffs. The KJC champion will be the KJC team that has the most wins against Jayhawk Conference opponents. Now we come to the time when the coaches vote and select the predicted order of finish. And this year, the football coaches voted that, again, and voting was very close, Garden City, number 1. Get my sheet here. Dodge City, number 2. Independence, number 3. Hutchinson, number 4. Butler, number 5. Highland, 6. Coffeyville, 7. And Fort Scott, 8. Those sheets were with you and on the handout. So, again, the KJC website with Mark Patrick as the webmaster has done an excellent job. Each college will continue to download on NJCAA-Presto the roster, schedules, and scores. Be sure to follow the KJCC on your mobile device. We encourage the colleges to keep a quarter-by-quarter score, and many of you follow that, especially the media, especially when you're at games and you're broadcasting games. Try to keep all the rest of the conference surprises of scores that goes on. So, before we move to the coaches' reports, are there any questions for me? Any questions? That's good. I don't have any answers. So, the coaches will use approximately 10 minutes to give their presentation. As soon as their presentation is over, they will ask for questions from the media. You're welcome to ask any question you want of the coaches. Coaches, I encourage you to especially introduce your assistant coaches that might be in attendance, or if you want to introduce assistant coaches and tell them there may be some new faces that people will see. So I encourage you to do that. We'll go in reverse order of the predicted order of finish. After this, after the coaches have done their job, then we'll take another 15-20 minutes so the media has a chance to talk to individual coaches on an individual basis. So we'll do that. So as sometimes it happens, the rookie has to start out. So Kale, sorry to have to do this, but this way you get it out of the way and you can move on. So the first one up is Coach Kale Pick and Fort Scott Community College. Kale.
Thanks, sir. Good afternoon. First, I want to thank Bryce Callahan, Mark Patrick for making all this possible. This conference has been special for many years, and I honestly think that comes from great leadership from the top. And I also want to thank President Alyssa Johnson, our athletic director Tom Haveron, for this great opportunity. I mean, I'm very humbled and very honored to have their confidence and their support in being the leader in our football program here at Fort Scott. Obviously, we have a lot of new faces in our football program and on our coaching staff, and I can't thank those guys enough either. And they do so many different things off the field and on the field on a daily basis to make our program go. I'll start with our run game coordinator and offensive line coach, Mason Y. Barbo. Great addition to our staff, coming from North Texas. He learned under Seth Luttrell and their coaching staff this last season, and he also played there as a 4-year starter before starting his coaching career. Jeff Crosby, he's our running back coach. He's going to be a special teams coordinator too. Another great addition, Justin Stevens, is our new defensive coordinator. He played at Abilene Christian University. He was there, working there for 2 years, and then he actually, this last season, he worked under Phil Bennett and Jim Gush at Baylor. So we're happy to have him. Corey Giddens, coach, special teams coordinator, secondary coach, great teacher to our kids. Also had a pass with Jim Gush. He played for him at Stony Brook University and learned under him as well. Returning coaches from last year is Richard Johnson. He coached defensive line last season. He's our assistant head coach and our recruiting coordinator this year. He's done a great job. I've known Rich for a long time. I played with him at KU for 4 or 5 years, and he does a great job for us. We're lucky to have him. Jordan Gush, he's our offensive coordinator and receiver coach. He was really our backbone with our signing class this year, especially through the hiring process. I really leaned on him, and he had a lot of late nights in the office recruiting offense and defense for us. So he gets all the credit for this signing class. And Craig Richardson, he's our strength and conditioning coach. Does a great job changing our culture this offseason. Another guy that I really leaned on during the hiring process when I was trying to fill our staff, through January and February as well. Number of returning lettermen. We're really young this year. On offense, we have 2. Defense, we have 6. Okay, and the way I see this conference race, it's a lot like the SEC West. I don't even want to compare it to the SEC. I think it's the SEC West. I think every team has to come prepared. Any team can win at any time. And if you're not prepared, you'll go out on Saturday and you'll get embarrassed. For the list of players playing in the Shrine Bowl this year, for Fort Scott, we signed 15 in-state kids. We have one kid that was invited to the Shrine Bowl. His name is Chandler Struthers. He's from St. Paul High School. He actually broke his hand this week, so he won't be playing Saturday, but he's there. And then a couple of key players for this year. My opinion in a football team is I look at the quarterback. And if you have a tough quarterback, you have a tough team. Right now we have 2 kids that are going to compete for that starting job. Both very talented. One's a transfer from UNLV. His name's Dalton Sneed. Another one's a high school kid. He'll be a true freshman from Cedar Ridge High School in Texas. So we're looking forward to seeing who comes on top of that battle. Anybody have any questions? All right. Thank you.
Kale, thank you very much. Good luck. Got a question? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Kale. Next up is Coach Aaron Flores, Coffeyville.
Well, first of all, again, I want to thank Bryce for setting this thing up. Each year it's gotten bigger and better from when it started off in a small kind of finding a place from week to or year to year to where we're at now. That's a big part of what Newman does, opening their doors for us to come in here. So appreciative of them allowing us to do our media day here. Obviously the media for coming, covered in the state and giving us good publicity throughout the country. Craig Helser on not just what he does for the officials, but can't say enough about him and his officials and the things that they do above and beyond just the football part of it. So again, he's known him for a long time and very appreciative of how much effort he puts in on and off the field to get his officials ready, but again, to get to know the coaches and help prepare us for the things that we need to be prepared for each and every Saturday to make the games run in a smooth fashion. A couple of my coaches that I have here with me today, my O-line coach, Cody Oates, my receivers coach, Jared Smith, been with me for quite a while. I'm glad they made the trip over here with me. Letterman coming back, about 5 on offense, 5 on defense. We're going to be pretty young. Some of our top players Jacob Rodman from here in Wichita, Kansas. Started for us at linebacker all 11 games last year. Looking for his leadership and guidance with the young guys, helping them transition. Marcio Chio is out of Olathe North, one of our H-backs, tight end type guys. Good work ethic, tough kid. Played in all 11 games, took a beating, but kept on going throughout it. Offensive lineman, we've got started all 11 games for us, Ruben Lewis from Apopka, Florida. His experience coming back. Vernon Dasher is actually a third-year guy for us. Made the decision to come back this spring, and he's really worked hard. I think he's going to have some great opportunities, great work ethic, and again, leadership that he'll bring to us. And Zach Burks as a defensive lineman for us from Olathe North. That brings back a lot of experience. Conference, again, you look at it, each and every year it changes, especially now with the new rules in place. It's anybody's game each and every week, and that's what makes it exciting. If you don't go in and work and put in the work, you're going to see the results in a negative way. You go in, give yourself a chance. When you're kids in good situations, you got to do that each and every week. That's what's exciting about being a part of this conference. Strengths and weaknesses of our team. I think our team likes to compete, especially through the spring. And then our summer session, our guys that were there did a great job competing. And the chemistry part of it, I think, is going to be our strengths. Weaknesses, we're going to be young, but that's part of being a junior college is everybody's kind of young each and every year. We're kind of trying to make our build from the high school guys for the most part. Got two guys playing in the Shrine Bowl, Ethan Richardson and Cam Wilson. And, again, just looking forward to the opportunity to go out each and every week and appreciative of having that opportunity. Any questions?
Questions, Aaron? Okay, thanks, Aaron. Good luck. Next is Coach Aaron Arnold from Highland.
I want to take a minute to welcome Coach Pick to the conference. It's always tough to get up here that first year. You're not quite sure what to expect, and I think you got the honor of fielding the first live question that I've seen in my 4 years here, so you did a good job, Coach. I told Kale before, I'd known he was going to wear the all-gray suit, I probably would have worn something different. The last thing I want to do is follow a young, good-looking guy and then get up here and, battle a lineman. I don't look as good as he does, so I would have worn something different had I known. This is the suit I wore when I got married, and as I was talking about that with my AD, I wanted to take a minute while I have an open mic and thank my wife. I'm going to try to do this without crying. I'm an emotional guy. I'm like Dick Vermeil when I get up here. I think as coaches, we're very fortunate that we get to do what we love to do, and we all do it for different reasons. We love what we do, and we love helping these players, and we love competing, we love being around football, but we have to make countless sacrifices to be able to do what we love. And it's not hard for us because we love it. When I think about what my wife does and what all of your wives do, they make the same sacrifices that we make. They miss the same things that we miss. They have to take care of our children, which is way harder than coaching football while we're away. And they do that not so that they can get to do what they love, but so that we can get to do what we love. And I just think it's really important that I thank my wife and hopefully thank all of your wives for all the time that they give us so that we get to do what we love to do. So I'm very fortunate. I almost pulled off a JUCO miracle and almost had my entire coaching staff return. I made it till the end of June before I lost my first guy this year. So I lost my running backs coach and was able to replace him with a young man named Corey Vaught, who just joined our staff last week. I'm very excited about him. He's been in this conference for a little bit, has some good experience, good character guy, and we're excited to get him on our staff. My DC returns, Coach Walter Vaughn, did a great job with our defense last year. I think we finished as the number 2 overall defense in the conference last year, and we've got some good players coming back, so I'm excited to see what he'll do with that group. On the D-line, who's been with me for a long time, Peyton Kirk, my defensive line coach. Again, another guy that does a great job. Maurice Gray coaches my DBs. That defensive staff, there's only 3 of them over there, but they do a really good job getting those guys coached up, and I'm always really proud of the effort that our defense puts out. On the offensive side of the ball, Judd Rimmers is my offensive coordinator. He's been with us at Highland since we took over in 2011, so he's kind of seen it from start to finish. And then lastly is Kyler Reed, who coaches my tight ends and wide receivers. He was our running backs guy last year. And he played tight end in the NFL, so he'll do a great job with us working with our tight ends. Got a few, returning players, too many to mention, but a couple that are noteworthy is Kendrick Caddis. Kendrick will kind of be the heart and soul of our defense as a linebacker. He's the type of player that we like. He's physical and strong and gets after it. Kendrick's from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Dominic Williams is a returning cornerback for us from Knoxville, Tennessee. And then on the defensive line, Antar Thompson from St. Louis does a good job for us up front. Offensively, Ronnie Jameson is an outstanding wide receiver for us. He's from South Carolina. And then as the offensive line guy, I'm always very excited to have a few starters coming back. I've got 4 guys in that group that started for me last year. Mike Davis, Torrey Boone, Tariq Parkings, and Casey Fye. I wanted to make sure to say all those O-line names. Those guys don't get their names called out very often, and they do a really good job for us. Our lone Shrine Bowler this year is Greg Martin from Marysville, Kansas. Greg's also an O-lineman. We're real excited to get Greg up on campus. We think he's going to get himself right in the mix to be a starter for us this year, and we're really excited about him. In terms of the season outlook, I mean, it kind of becomes a broken record. We all get up here and say the same thing, but it's the truth. You know, this really is the premier junior college conference in the country. It always has been, and with the new rule changes, I hope people outside of our conference really understand what they're watching when they watch our football games. We will have guys on our rosters this year that will be 2s and 3s on the depth chart that can be starters in the Big 12. And I don't think people get that until you see it live, until you stand on the sideline and see the size and the speed of this conference. I don't know that you really appreciate it. I think the number one goal for all of us just needs to be to survive the season. My biggest concern is that we just beat each other up. We end up with 5 teams that are all 7-4 and nobody's ranked when all 5 of us could have beat anybody in the country. I think I saw a preseason poll that had 7 of our teams ranked in the top 25 right now, and it really should be 8. I know that all 8 teams in this conference are going to give anybody that we play a hard time. So for us at Highland, you know, this will be the 5th year in a row that we've been picked to finish in the bottom half of the conference, despite having finished in the top half the last 4 years. So I think for us, within our program, we're going to continue to have a chip on our shoulder. We're going to continue to use that as motivation, and we're going to come back and fight really hard to continue to earn people's respect, and hopefully we can prove everyone wrong that we're a top half team again this year. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Next up is Tim Schaffner, Coach Schaffner from Butler. Tim?
I'll try and be as brief as everyone that's gone before me is setting a record for getting up and sitting down, so I'll try and follow that pattern. I want to thank everybody for putting it on, and to my wife, I echo everything that Coach said, so same from me. I also want to give Big R a shout for putting things together. It makes my job a lot easier. It's a privilege to be up here representing Bucco Nation again for the 3rd year. And as everyone said, for people outside Kansas, you just don't understand how good this competition is, how good this league is. You know, a bunch of guys were at Lawrence, Kansas over the weekend and saw the mass of talent there, and it's staggering. If I had any hair left, it fell out. It's going to be a really exciting season with a lot of great athletes. Staff is back. We lost, except for Zach Rampy, is now the offensive coordinator, Shawnee Mission North. We replaced him with Hunter Vaughn, who played quarterback for us a few years ago. So he's back and excited. And then Tyrell Everett is taking over our running backs position. He also played for us. Still have Steve Bratt. He's entering his 38th year of coaching at Butler. 38 years on the sideline there, and he's a go-to guy. He epitomizes what coaching is, and he's really a living legend. Coach Pick said it, our league's like the SEC West. I mean, you can't take a breath. And when you add in the Iowa schools and they come down and those are your non-conference games, it just makes it a gauntlet. And for people to survive, you know, the way Garden did a year ago, you know, that's impressive. And to have the national champion in the room and then say the conference is going to be better and tougher, I mean, it's nerving, but that's why we do this. And then the coaches that are in this room, I've been in this conference a long time. There's not a harder working group. I mean, it's just gone up exponentially. Guys work their tails off, and the recruiting and the coaching of guys, and the quality of football here in this conference is amazing. And I think you need to see those games. And if you've seen them, you can appreciate just how good the level is, how good the coaching is, and what a product we put out there. Our season, our guys, we're going to have a little more experience on offense than we did a year ago, which should be good because the defenses are loaded. I mean, we anticipate seeing the 85 Bears every time we roll out there. We have 2 kids coming back at quarterback that we'll take a look at. Brady Russ from Derby and then Chris Helbig from Colorado. Both went through the spring. We're excited to see what they can do, and they'll be joined by 3 freshmen. Kevon Abrams returns at tailback. I think he's got a chance of being a a really dynamic player, as well as Isaiah Truss that got a bunch of carries for us last year. So at that position, we expect them to provide some leadership and take the lion's share of the carries. Receiver-wise, C.J. Sims is back, and I think he's exciting every time he touches the ball. So hopefully, if we can keep him healthy, offensive coaches can find a way to get him the ball. He's got a chance of doing some things. On the offensive line, we have a little bit of experience and depth coming back, and as Coach said, it's always good to mention those guys because they don't get a lot of pub. But we have Trevor Hudson and Tyler Levette from Derby that started 10 games a year ago. Noah Johnson from Bishop Carroll started 10 games. And then C.J. Perez, who's from St. Thomas Aquinas, is back, and he started the first 2 games before suffering a season-ending injury. So he's back. We expect them to provide leadership, and with the guys we've added, hopefully we can be good because, again, as I said, the D-lines are going to be, a freak show. It's going to be tough for sure. Joining C.J. at receiver, we have Myron Mitchell, who's back, Kendall Stewart, Garrett Prince, and Josh Wilkes. Each of those guys caught more than 10 passes. So if we can protect our quarterback, keep him upright, and keep him healthy, we think we got some guys that we can throw the ball to. Defensively, our strength is definitely up front. Our back seven is going to be brand new, but our front, we have 5 guys that played significant snaps last year. Make sure I get them right. Christopher Dugan, Cole Morris, Sojourn Gartrell, and Demario Burnett all played quite a bit a year ago. And then we added 2 guys, Cameron Meeks and Darian McMillan, to the fold, and they've fit in and done well. Got to replace our linebackers. We lost our top 3 from a year ago. Will Honus is back, started 2 games a year ago, and should be ready to fill in and step in. And then 2 guys that are around, David Burton and Charlie Benton, are both with us, and hopefully they can fill in, step in, and we can get them headed in the right direction. Secondary, we got 3 guys that played. Spencer Claiborne and Kajana Gaines both played safety. In our corner, Deron Lowe. With some guys, obviously, that went through the spring. No one's really emerged yet, so it'll be interesting to see how that comes out once we get into camp. We do have our long snapper back, and other than the O-line, the long snapper probably never gets any talk or any credit, but long snappers are kind of like a spare tire. You don't realize how crucial and important they are until you don't have one, and you're up the creek without him. So A.J. Knowles from Olathe Northwest did a great job. I think scored like 97% of his snaps. He's back, and so hopefully he can continue to build. And our kicker, Luke Winter, who took over midseason, did a really nice job. I don't mess with kickers. I don't really talk to him. I know he works hard. I know he's been working hard this summer, so hopefully he can build on the success that he had a year ago. We do have 7 guys that are playing in the Shrine Bowl tomorrow, and all of them are on the West squad. Jovan Baldwin from Junction City, he's a wide receiver. Caden Davis is a wide receiver from Ellsworth. Cooper Dreifert's an O-lineman from Andover. Cody Gonzalez is a running back from Goddard. Zach Helbing's an outside linebacker from Mulvane. Dallin Marlney is a linebacker from Augusta. Peerless Walker is a D-tackle from Derby. So we're excited to have them. You know, they'll do a good job tomorrow night representing their families. Uco, and they'll do a good job moving forward as well. To be successful, we got to focus on details. Like everybody, create some chemistry during camp. Teach our kids how to be college football players. You know, for the freshmen coming in, and then anytime you get a transfer, there's a reason that they're there. So just helping them to mold and get ready to play. On offense, we got to do a better job taking care of the ball. We got to be better in the red zone than we were a year ago and eliminate negative plays. And then defensively, we got to play with great effort, try and be more stout against the run and win on 3rd down. So since we think points will be difficult to come by, be good in the kicking game, be sound, be able to score when we need to, and then use it to make it tougher on our opponent to score. We want to try and expand our depth as well. I've heard that mentioned a couple times, that there will be guys now that we can create roles for that maybe in years past were on the phone trying to find a place for them to go. Now there's a situation for those guys, be it offensively, in short yardage, nickel packages, what have you. That increased depth and that roster size is going to be something that each of us will deal with as we get rolling in the season. And as everyone has said, too, that spoke before me, that I expect them to be really competitive. If you're not focused, though, it could be a boat race. You know, 1 or 2 possession games, they're going to come down to a handful of plays. And if you're not prepared, you're not going to have a chance. But if we can do that, do those things and get a little luck, we got a chance to compete every Saturday. Thanks. Questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Tim, thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Yeah,
All right.
good job. Next is Coach Ryan Rhodes from Hutchinson. Coach Rhodes.
Glad to be here again. This is number 11 for me at Hutch in terms of showing up and giving a speech at a press conference preseason. Excited to do that. Feel very honored to represent not only a great conference but a great school. Played at Hutch. Like I said, I've been there 10 football seasons as a head coach, and I love the place. And I'm thankful not only to be there but to be a part of a pretty special fraternity in the Jayhawk Conference. It is special in many ways, and as we delve into new territory and kind of a new frontier, I'm excited to see exactly how it's going to look. I think there's a lot of unknowns right now, but I'm really excited to see what's next for not only our program but for everybody in the conference. I did want to say a special welcome to Kale. Kale, it was 2006. This press conference was being held at Pittsburgh, and we were picked 8th also, and we finished number 12 in the country. So I wish you the best, and I'm excited. I know you're going to do a great job, and that place has been a good springboard for a lot of people. Bryce, thank you very much for what you do. Many of you know Bryce is not only our conference commissioner, but is now the president of NJCAA. That says a lot, not only for him personally, but a lot for our conference. We're very highly thought of on a national scale, and I know a lot of that has to do with a lot of time and effort, taking care of people, being on top of details that Bryce has done over the years. So very thankful for him. Carl, excited that you're on board in a new role, and look forward to getting to know you better. Mark Patrick, I'm not sure where Mark's at, but there you are. Thank you very much, Mark, for putting this together. Since Mark has got more active in the conference, I think he's brought a lot to the table, and I'm certainly appreciative of that. Several guys have mentioned Craig, and I would definitely like to talk about Craig a little bit too. He's a special guy for a lot of reasons, but he cares about the game of college football as much as anybody in the room. And it manifests itself in a little bit different way. We think about recruiting and coaching players, and he thinks about recruiting and coaching officials. And they're kind of like the O-linemen, Aaron. They don't get mentioned a lot. Maybe like the long snapper. It only shows up whenever a mistake's made. But Craig's outstanding at what he does. We really get a picture of how good our officials are when we go outside of our conference. So our guys are just like anybody. They're human, and they're capable of having some plays that are better than others, but they get great instruction. They work really hard at doing a good job, and they're led by a great guy in Craig Helser. So he's made a dramatic impact on this conference over the last decade. Vic and his crew, definitely a big thank you to you for allowing us to be here. This is a real nice venue. I think it's comfortable. It's fairly easy for most people to get to. We're thankful for the media for being here. You're a big reason why we have it here in Wichita, just to get a little bit of extra coverage for what we feel like is some of the best college football played in the United States. As far as our administration goes, now's a great time to be at Hutch. We have a great president, Carter File, who's been on the job now for 3 years. Josh Gooch is our athletic director, and he's probably done as much to kind of reshape and energize our athletic department as anybody possibly could. He's been outstanding, and Steve Kappelman, assistant athletic director, Scott Brooks, assistant athletic director, are both here. They're awesome to work with. Steve Carpenter has been at the school since it was started back in 1928. Before that, he worked at the Hutch News, but he's been outstanding to work with too as our SID. Kelton Brooks is here representing the Hutch News. Appreciate his coverage, and it's been good to get to know him. And then my next door neighbor, Glenn Grunwald, who is part of our Eagle radio team, along with Rusty Hilst and Rob Dreyer, always do a great job covering our program. We returned 21 lettermen, 10 on offense, 10 on defense, and our place kicker. Don't know what that means. I don't think any of us do. It's nice to have a few guys back who have at least been in the battle of a Saturday football game in the Jayhawk Conference. But as we all know, there are freshmen that are hungry that come in. You get a transfer guy here and there who increase the competition at position, and you just never really know who's going to emerge as guys that you can really count on. But it is good to have some guys back that played. Of our 21 returning guys, 19 of those guys started at least one game in the league last year, and so I think that'll be valuable experience. This conference, as everybody said up to this point, and I would echo that big time. I mean, it's the most competitive situation, I think, in college football. I mean, again, we don't get the coverage that we might deserve or that some other places get, but we have a great product. There are a lot of good football coaches. There are a lot of great players. I don't know a lot about the other programs in terms of numbers, but just to give an example, we'll have 12 guys playing in the NFL this next year just from my time here at Hutch, and I think that says a lot. When you got guys going to the National Football League, it's a big deal. That means you got great players who are in great programs, and so it is a great product. It is ultra competitive. The parity in the conference over the last 3 years has been unbelievable. In the last 3 years, there have been 4 different teams that have claimed a conference championship, with Hutch, Butler, Dodge City, and Garden City. Obviously, the national championship last year by Garden City just further illustrated the strength of our league. So it is competitive, and all you got to do is really think about some of those statistics, what some of those teams have done, what some of the players who have come out of here have done, and obviously the different accolades of coaches that have not only coached here but used this as a platform to move on in college football. So I echo what my colleagues have said earlier, that anybody can win any week. There is no doubt about that. You got to be ready to play. Health is always going to be an issue. Having guys that can overcome some injuries, some being nicked up and be able to play, guys that have leadership, having great chemistry on your team, all those are going to be a factor in who's actually going to come on top on a Saturday any given week. So it'll be a great competitive season. I don't have any doubt about that. I'm excited to see how some of the changes with unlimited roster and unlimited out-of-state will really affect what happens on Saturdays in the league. But depth is going to be great. The quality of players are going to be great. The quality of coaching is going to be great. So it'll be a great season for the Jayhawk Conference. Just in terms of our team, as I mentioned, with the 21 returning lettermen, those guys will definitely provide some leadership for us. Our question marks really right now are going to be offensive line. We got a lot of youth coming down the pipe with our offensive line. Only a couple of guys that started in ball games last year in that spot. Obviously, that's the engine that drives the train. From a quarterback standpoint, we do have 2 guys that started for us last year. Chris James was injured in Game 2, lost him for the season. Cam Jones kind of finished up the season for us and started the last 5 games. Those guys will both be back and be competing along with a couple of freshmen that are coming in. So at those key areas, there's a lot to be determined, and there's a lot of questions to be answered. The strength of our team really, at this point at least, would be our secondary. We return 4 guys that started in games last year in the secondary, played most of the season for us. We got 1 D-line returner that ought to be a strength for us, and then a couple of guys at linebackers. So as everybody's mentioned up to this point, there are a lot of question marks. You got some guys that you feel really good about, whether they played last year or redshirted and looked really good in spring, and I would echo those things, but there's still a lot to be determined. So fall camp will run its course. We'll see as the season goes. The exciting thing for me is a guy that has worked his tail off through the summer and through fall camp, but might not be quite ready to play game 1. We don't have to put his name on a roster that's hard and fast. He might be able to help us come game 4, and that's exciting. I think that gives kids something to work towards. It gives them, some motivation, not only to work hard to get what they want out of this deal and to kind of get to where they want to be on the depth chart, but it also just creates competition that's long-lasting and not just existent in fall camp. So I'm excited about that. Just in closing, I really appreciate what Aaron mentioned. Our families are really important to us, and what as media members, sometimes you get to see little glimpses of our personal lives also, and sometimes you don't. A lot of times we're known by our most recent game or our wins and loss record, but there are a lot of good guys in this room who are great dads, who do a good job being a good husband, who are great mentors to their players, and that's really the thing about coaching that I relish the most, is that we get a chance to make a difference. And the world we live in is filled with animosity and craziness at times, but we're shaping guys that are going to be the future. And I love that about coaching, that we get to make a difference. So I'm thankful that God's given me an opportunity to continue to do this. I think it's a great profession. I think it's a noble profession. And there's a lot more to it than wins and losses. And we understand that that's what we all want as W's, but there's a lot more to it. And I think everybody in this room that's coached football would be able to back that up and tell you that we're shaping the future of our country, and we get to do it in a great place and a great conference. So again, I'm really thankful to have another chance to be here, and I'll look forward to answering any questions on some interviews here after we're all done. Thank you.
Next up is Coach Jason Brown from Independence. Jason.
Good afternoon. I want to thank Bryce again for throwing this on and allowing me to be in my second season here in the Jayhawk, coming from the California League. It's a privilege to be in this league. So I want to thank Craig again for coming too. He does a great job with the refs. I got to spend some time with him this spring, and he did a great job for us in practices. And so thank you guys. I also want to, football sometimes gets overwhelming for coaches, and Aaron mentioned wives and stuff. Us in Coffeyville are rivals, and my mentor is the boss there, is AD there, and he's Coach Flores' boss, and I want to wish you best of health. We're rivals and everything else, but I want him to be able to coach, and he's doing a great job coaching in his circumstance, so I give him a lot of credit. I want to introduce a few guys. Coach Martin is our defensive coordinator, does a great job with our secondary. Keith Donerson's our D-line coach, strength conditioning coach. Both of those guys are returning. Jesse Ornelas is also a returning running back coach, recruiting coordinator. Kiyoshi Harris will be our new offensive line coach and OC, coming from California. We have our new special teams coordinator, Manoa Latu, coming over from Utah State, also a California guy. We don't have any Shrine kids this year. We did sign 12 Kansans. I think our strength this year will be our team speed, overall team speed. On offense, I think it's going to be our O-line and QB play, and on defense, it's going to be our secondary and D-line. We have 7 returners, 5 on D, 2 on O. Emmett Gooden is a D tackle. Already been committed to Arkansas. Tremonda Moore is an O-lineman, committed to Oklahoma. Delrick Abrams is probably our longest, best corner, committed to Colorado, and Dontrell Barkley is another D tackle, committed to South Carolina. We got some newcomers, obviously. We got some good young high school kids from out of state. Bobby Bruce is a linebacker. Tim Faison is a transfer. And we got a few quarterback transfers. Malik Henry, Sharon Jones, Florida State and Tennessee, respectively. A couple running back guys that we brought in, and a couple O-line guys. So we got guys spread all over the place. A couple good high school players from out of state. Jermaine Johnson, big-time defensive end, outside linebacker type. Coming from Minneapolis, so we're expecting big things out of him as a true high school kid. So picked up a KU offer at the camp last Saturday that we were all at. So I I think it will be exciting, reiterating some things the coach has said. Obviously, the league is a powerhouse league, and it is what it is. You got to come strapped up every week, and you know, I love the challenge, and I know everybody in this room loves the challenge, and I look forward to it. And getting these guys graduated and moved on, that's number one for me, and that's what we're doing here at Independence. And we've came a long ways in 18 months, and hopefully we continue to strive. I'm overwhelmed by the voting of third place. We haven't done anything yet, so the champ's over here, and we got to knock out a champ to win. So that's where I'm at. So any questions? Thank you, guys.
Next is Coach Gary Thomas, Dodge City Community College.
Kind of reiterate what everybody else says. Obviously, want to thank Bryce and Mark for putting this on. You don't really get a chance to understand how kind of cool this is when you come from some places that really haven't had it. And I've been at some conferences where it's just you, yourself, and you know, trying to figure out how the season's going to go. So it's really nice that people appreciate what we're doing and appreciate the attention that you guys have the ability to bring to our conference. Also like to thank Craig as well for all his hard work. Again, similar to what I just said, is when you get into some other conferences at this level, you don't have the organization of the officials, and you just kind of get what you get. And the level of professionalism and the level of attempting to get better at your craft is what we're all about at our level, but it's appreciated that it's the same for the officials as well. So we appreciate your contribution. Similar to Aaron not wanting to follow Kale's wardrobe, Aaron kind of screwed it up for everybody, so now we all have to thank our wives. Not that we don't want to, but I probably wouldn't have if Aaron hadn't brought it up. So again, I got some little ones running around at home, so you know, our families kind of take a beating in this deal. And if my wife had 30 seconds at the microphone, you'd probably hear all about it. So I do want to thank her and all of my family for their contribution to allow us to do this. It's, you know, they say when you it doesn't feel like a job. We get to go to work every day and for the most part enjoy ourselves when our administrators aren't getting in the way. You can edit that out. But it's it really is an enjoyable experience every day to go to work, even with the pressure and the time. As time consuming as it is, it's very rewarding and most of all enjoyable. I'm very fortunate to have most of my staff back again. Coach Callahan, my assistant head coach, defensive coordinator. I think he's going on his 44th year of college football. He's forgotten more football than I'll ever know. And we've been together, I think, 10 now as either me as OC, him DC, or head coach. And his contribution is unspeakable. I could do a whole press conference just on his contribution to our program. Michael Starkey, our linebackers coach, is back. Coach Langren coming on, our run game coordinator and offensive line coach. He's back for his 5th year with us. Anthony Gibson, our defensive line coach, back for his 3rd year. The new additions to our staff, Tyler Hennis. Tyler's a Kansas product. He's a Jayhawk conference product as well. Has coached at a few Division I schools and Division II schools. We were fortunate we lost Gunnar Twiner to an opportunity to coach at an FCS school, so that was a great opportunity for him career-wise. But we're very fortunate to get Tyler in, and his contribution was immediate, and we're excited to have him. And then Jordan Sanders. Jordan played in this conference, played at Butler, and he's coached at a few conference schools as well. Has some family back in Dodge City, and we were lucky enough to get him back because of some family obligations. And we're excited to have him. Does a great job with our secondary. The conference in general, I mean, we're just, you know, beating a dead horse here, but you could pretty much take the top 8 and you could throw them up in the air, and any which way they fall down is how it's going to end. And that's not just in football. I mean, we have 3 national champions in the room. We've got Garden City in football, Butler in softball, Hutchinson men's basketball. The conference in general, top to bottom, is unbelievable in almost every sport, and I'm probably forgetting somebody else that may have won it in another sport. But the amount of knowledge that's in this room from coaching staffs really keeps you sharp. The amount of time spent in recruiting really keeps you sharp and on top of your game. And it's challenging. It's an all-year thing, and it's an all-the-time thing, and you just never know when things are going to pop up. But it does keep you at the top of your profession, and that's speaks volumes of the people in the room. Dodge City historically, not much to write home about. When I took over, I think they had won 6 games in 6 years, and I think they had 2 winning seasons in like the last 30. And we've been fortunate to finish in the top 2, 3 of the last 4 years. We've won 16 games in the last 2 years and 25 in the last 4, which, again, a contribution to not only our players that have worked hard and bought into what we're trying to teach, but our coaching staff that is an extension of me and beats that into them day by day. You just can't have any weak links in your chain as far as your coaching staff. So they're getting a consistent and they're getting a constant message, and we've been very fortunate to do that. And a lot of that is attributed to not having much staff turnover. So they're getting a consistent message year to year, and we're not having to coach our coaches as much because they understand the expectation. We've got a new administration, which has been an outstanding opportunity for us. We've got a president now that's been in place for a year. He's a former athletic director and really understands athletics and appreciates athletics. And Dr. Nolte's been in place now. He was an interim for a while, and now he's our full-time president. We just hired a new athletic director a couple weeks ago, and it'll be exciting to get a chance to know him a little bit better. We've had a few discussions, but not much. He's kind of had to hit the ground running a little bit, and he's got to make some hires in some other sports. So we really haven't had a chance to sit down and talk too much yet. But he's a Dodge City native, and he's a Jayhawk guy, or has some Jayhawk experience, but he has quite a bit of junior college experience, which is always helpful. As far as our team, I think we're going to have a good football team. I really do think we'll have a good football team. That doesn't necessarily mean more wins and losses in this league. You can feel really good about where you're at, and that's not necessarily mean that you're going to beat people on a week-to-week basis. That's stuff that will be determined later. Like I said, you can kind of throw those teams up in the air and figure out where they land, and it could land in a different order every time you do it. There's going to be a lot of luck involved. I think the biggest differences this year in the conference is just going to be the depth across the board, having the ability to have a nickelback, having the ability to have a tight end, and I think the offensive line play is going to increase and improve. At least that's the take on our program. Is much more depth, much more competition, and much improved offensive line play. And we've had some good offensive lines, and we're not going to be very old there. We're going to be very young, actually. But I think just the talent level that we have running around there is much improved from years past, and we're fortunate to be in the position that we're in. As far as our guys, don't have a ton of guys back. We do on offense. We have 6 returning starters on offense, but only 1 on defense. But we have quite a few guys that were mid-year guys that came in, or guys that redshirted in our program last year that are back. They're just not lettermen. Probably the biggest contribution would be at quarterback. I think everybody is kind of going to operate through their quarterback at every level of college football, and other levels as well. We've got a returning starter, Caden Walters from Dodge City High School. Had a really, really good freshman year for us, and did some things on his own where we didn't have the ability to protect him like we wanted to, and didn't have the ability to give him the resources that he needed around him, and I think we'll be able to do a little bit better job of that this year. We have our top 3 running backs back, Tyler Minor, A.J. Walker. Tyler was an all-conference guy last year, and then Rodney Murphy from Wichita Heights, who had a really good offseason. 3 wide receivers back that all caught over 10 balls. One of them caught over 30 balls, Austin Watkins, Braxton Haley, and Jerry Hanks from Leavenworth, Kansas. And then really only 1 offensive lineman back that played last year. We had a couple go through spring ball that should start for us, but Gabe Alvarez, he was a Shrine Bowl guy last year out of Kansas City. Turner had a really good job. Probably will start at center for us. So A pretty solid group on offense coming back. Hopefully we can kind of get everything going in the right direction with some of the newcomers, because I think they are going to be talented, but they're going to be very young and unorganized at times, especially early. Defensively, it's going to be a lot of new faces. Matter of fact, I don't even think I know them all yet. That will come in time, but we've got team speed, we've got size, we've got strength. We'll kind of see how the chips fall here in the next 23 days or so before we get a chance to line up against Aaron and his guys, and they're going to come in prepared and with 4 returning starters on the offensive line, and they're going to put it on you if you're not careful like they did to us last year. So we're excited about the season. We think we have a really good group, but we got a lot of work to do to be able to reinforce obviously how the voting went, which I don't know if is, it'd be always interesting to see how it ends. I don't even know what Jeff was rated at the beginning last year, but he finished number 1. So it's all the difference in the world is how you finish. So we got a long way to go to finish number 2 or in the top 2 again. So any questions? Appreciate it.
Last but certainly not least, number 1 ranked, number 1 voted for the conference and defending national champs, Coach Sims, Garden City Community College.
Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing well. Thank you guys for having us here today. Go through the thanks. I've been at 2 schools. I've been at Fort Scott and Garden City, and I wanted to thank you, Bryce, for what you've done for the league. Okay, guys, we don't always agree with everything that goes on. When you're an assistant coach, you always don't agree with the head coach, but he has to make decisions that are best for the league. And I think as coaches, when we thank our family and we do all those things, we understand the sacrifices. So I appreciate all the sacrifices you've made for the league, all the time and commitment and everything. And I wish you well as this is your last year. Yeah, no problem. Carl, I want to welcome you to the league. Okay, I'm sure you'll get to know me. I'm excited about what we do. I believe in what we do. And we talk about the Jayhawk Conference, but I'm going to tell you that the football is the best sport in this league. These coaches kill themselves for this league, and we have the best product, and I'm glad the media's here because what we do is second to none in the country. And I'm excited about our league, and I'm excited about you joining it, and I hope that we can continue to make this thing great. And I think we're just scratching the surface of what we can be as an entire league and an entire conference. So I look forward to working with you in the future. Mark, I appreciate you setting us on today. You're a good man who I love to talk to and laugh with, and I know you care about this league, so I appreciate everything you do. Victoria, I'd like to thank you for having us here. Vic is a former Bronc Buster, so I appreciate him having us here. I want to thank my AD, John Green, for coming today and being a part of this. I've really gotten to know John over the last couple of years, and the biggest thing is, again, you may not always agree with people, but it's where their heart is. And John's heart's in the right place, and he's trying to do what's right, and he's trying to do what's best. Dr. Swinder, I'd like to thank my president for giving us the opportunity. Colin Cowherd's a famous radio talk show host that I like to listen to, and he talks about don't chase money, chase leadership. And Dr. Swinder allows us to be successful football-wise. When I was at Fort Scott, we won because of Dr. Clayton Tatro. He allowed me the opportunity to be successful. I will tell you that whatever coach in this league wins, he's going to win because his administration allows him the opportunity to be successful. And because it takes more than just a football coach, it takes more than the coaching staff, it takes more than the players. There's just so much that goes into it, especially with our guys. When you talk about housing, when you talk about classes, all the things that are involved. So I really appreciate Dr. Swinder, Dee Wigner, our Vice President of Finance, and I want to thank Ryan Ruda, who was the athletic director that hired me at Garden City, and I know he's watching this on webcam, so I want to give him a little shout out. I want to thank Levi from our local newspaper for being here. When I first got here, Levi told me, he goes, I want to cover a winner, all right? And so we've worked very hard to put a product out there that makes him excited to go write his articles and talk about our guys and where they're going and the things that they're doing. So I appreciate what you do with our local paper. Craig, I want to thank you. I read a couple articles this year about the shortage of officials and how hard it is to get people to be officiating. And I promise you I'm taking that into account as we enter into the season so that we can keep the officials around. I have read up on the new rules. I'm going to stay on my sideline, okay? Just keep these guys on their sideline too, okay? So I'm sure I'll let you know if they step off, okay? So I'll help you watch that. I want to thank my wife. My wife has been through this thing from day one. I went to middle school with my wife, so she's, if you guys think I'm a nut job, she can confirm it. My oldest son, Dylan, he's going to be a varsity football player this year, and, I'm as excited about his season as mine, and I probably won't see most of it because I schedule for my meetings at 9 o'clock on Friday nights, and that's what we do. That's the sacrifice we make. There's been some articles about the TV show Last Chance U, and I watched it, and I saw Buddy Stevens. He got mad at a player for being late to a meeting because Buddy Stevens had left the high school game where his daughter was performing the last time. And I think that's an example of what all these coaches do, and you don't see that sometimes. So there's a lot of sacrifices by the family. My son Jake goes into his freshman year of high school this year, and we're looking forward to seeing how Garden City High School wrestling continues to do well. And then last year, I came here with my daughter, Sammy, and this year she picked camping over the press conference. So she's camping this weekend, and so if we lose, it's all her fault. I want to tell you we made a couple coaching additions this year. We've added Josh Beekman to coach our offensive line this year. Josh Beekman was an All-American for Boston College. He went on and played for the Chicago Bears, was a fourth-round NFL draft choice. Then he GA'd at Florida International University, and we've added him onto our staff. We're very excited about him. And then this week we hired Leon Wright from LSU, so he'll be joining us. And we're very fortunate that I have an administration that gives me a chance to have the best coaching staff in the country, and I really believe we do have that. I want to talk about the league. Guys, the league's incredible, and as the media is here, I would encourage you need to get on board because this is the start of something. This is just scratching the surface of what it could be. The way they picked the league, I think, is interesting. Butler was 5th, but I don't remember the last time Butler finished lower than 2nd. Okay, so, that's incredible. Highland was 6th, and last year they were 16th in the country and the 3rd highest ranked team in this league. Arnold talked about them being top half the last 3 or 4 years. He does an incredible job. We won the national championship last year. We beat them 14-7, all right? And it was the last drive. I think they were going down to score. And fortunately, we had a guy who was National Player of the Year 2 years ago make a great play. And so, I mean, we're literally that close to losing to Highland last year, and now you're 6th. So Coffeyville, Coach Flores is incredible. He beat the brakes off us 2 years ago. And so, the reality is that's how balanced this league is from top to bottom. I will tell you as of today, there's no way that we're the best football team in this room. Okay, I've listened to who you guys got, and I know what we have. There's absolutely no way we're the best football team in this room. But luckily, I don't play you guys all in August 24th. I open up with Ellsworth, and we'll try to be the best football team on that day, and then we'll get ready to travel to Highland, and we'll go on from there and play the teams as they line up. Last year, I was sitting in this room, and we were picked on the bottom half. We had come off a 3-8 season, and not one media member spoke to me the whole day. Didn't ask me one question, didn't say hi to me, didn't do anything, okay? So if that hasn't happened to you, I'd rather be in your position than in mine, okay? Because I know that every week guys are going to line up to beat us. And the truth of the matter is I don't know what type of football team we have. We really don't. We have one Shrine Bowler. His name is Dylan Williams. He's from Holcomb, and he's 2-time 4A Player of the Year. We have a lot of great players, but as guys come up here and they talk about their returners, I think that's interesting. And what I mean by that is we don't coach at KU. We don't coach in the MIAA. Right? This is junior college football. There are new teams every year. I don't know if I'm going to go back tonight if I get a phone call and Cam Newton's going to transfer to me. Okay? I don't know if I'm going to go home if Cam Newton's on my campus, if he's going to mess up and have to go home. All right? Let me tell you what junior college football is. This is what junior college football is. Last year at this meeting, our returning quarterback was J. Rue Campbell. Okay? He started the first 3 games of the season for us last year. Fortunately, we had a young man transfer in from Virginia Tech, and he got to our campus right before school started. We got him ready. He went in and played against Hutch, and we barely beat Hutch, who It was an incredible football game, and we were blessed to win that game. That Tuesday night, he went out and broke a team rule. So we suspended him. I come into my office, we bring in J. Rue Campbell into the office, and I say, J. Rue, I said, we think you're the second best quarterback on our team. I go, we're going to suspend this guy for breaking the team rule, and you're going to start this weekend. But I want to throw something at you, J. Rue. I go, here's the deal. I go, I think you're the second best quarterback on our team. I said, but we're a better football team if you play receiver and we start our third string quarterback, Peyton Husley. J. Rue said to me, all right, now this is a kid that in high school got in all kind of trouble, and if you go on Google, they say he's the worst person in the world. Well, he ain't nowhere close to that. He looked at me and goes, Coach, all I want to do is win. I go, all right, you're playing receiver. We started Peyton Husley against Butler County Community College, one of the best community colleges in the country, and Peyton went on to win that game. He led us throughout the season. He was MVP of the national championship game, and he'll be starting for Missouri State as their quarterback this year. To me, that's what makes junior college great. You got an opportunity for a kid who had a bad high school experience to come and show some leadership like J. Rue Campbell. You got a kid like Peyton Husley, who out of high school, 4.0, took his team to the state title, but nobody wanted to give him a scholarship. 6 months later, he's a full-ride scholarship athlete at a Division I football school. That's what these coaches do every day, is they give the opportunity to kids that are trying to create a life. And that's what I love about it. I have no idea how good a football team will be. I know we'll be at practice on Tuesday, ready to play Ellsworth on August 24th. I appreciate everything you guys do, and I look forward to competing against you. If there's any questions, I'll answer them. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeff. Since Craig wasn't able to come up here earlier on, I will put a plug in for our officials camp. I think it's August 12th, 13th. We'll have about 80 officials show up for camp. The supervisor of the Big 12 officials will be in attendance. The entire crew of officials that work the national championship, NCAA national championship game, will be there to be clinicians for our officials. And I want to thank Hutchinson and Butler for giving us the opportunity to be on their campus and cover their scrimmages so we can hold this camp. So that's something we do for officials. There's two young people in here that I didn't introduce earlier, but have been great help to Mark and the Jayhawk Conference, and it's Maddie and Kelly. Kelly's new this year, and we're breaking him in with the press conference, so appreciate that. So, Mark, do we want to talk about the new store, or are we going to do that or not? Just before we break up here, we've reached an agreement with Adidas, and Adidas is supplying us some gear, and we've put together a conference store that'll either be logoed clothing, or you can buy them unlogoed or put your own college logo on. So you go to the website and do that. So we're just unveiling that today. So we'll talk about that more in our conference meeting, but we're excited about being attached to Adidas and what they can do for us. And I think they're doing some work with all the conference. That's all we have for that's press conference. We're going to take a break here for about 20 minutes to give 15-20 minutes to give the media a chance to talk to individual coaches, and then when we reconvene, we'll reconvene in the coaches meeting, and that'll be just for the coaches and ADs, whatever. So thank you all for attendance. How about a big hand for all the coaches? Great job, all of them. We appreciate it. All right.